Awesome. So I know it's a busy time of year, but it's always busy, right? And so I wanted to really try to highlight 5 ways, 5 things that you could do this summer when at least there's less students in your building, not that there's less projects going on, to really improve your social media once you hit the ground running next year. And our objective today is I'm going to give you 5 tips, but if I can just give you one actionable step, then you're one step closer, right? So don't be overwhelmed, I guess, by the tips that I give you. If you can just take one of them and make something of it, then, that's great. So I want to provide, Tracy, it's obviously first time I've gotten to talk to you. Kim, you know a little bit about me. I'll give you an introduction to just who I am, what we do. I'll share the 5 steps. I've just got a special invite and then a Q&A, any and all questions. And since it's so small, you can certainly pop in if you've got questions along the way. I talk fast, but you can try to interrupt me, and I'll obviously answer questions you have. So I founded Social School for EDU a little over 2 years ago. I've now written a children's book. I've got an MBA. I was in corporate America for 13 and a half years. I did a lot of roles when I got logged off. I just tried to retype that. We've actually now done over 13,000 social media posts for schools. So we've got a lot of experience. We've trained over 100 school districts, and we just really believe in celebrating the incredible things going on at school districts like, Palmyra Eagle and all over Wisconsin and Minnesota, and eventually we'll be able to help, schools across the nation. Our mission is simple: celebrate students and connect the communities. And by celebrating students, the nice thing is we actually get to celebrate the staff too, and that's really key. This is where we are right now. Heavily located in northwest Wisconsin because that's where I started in Little New Auburn. But we're definitely branching out. Down in Waterloo, we actually post in both English and Spanish for them. So that's something that we can do. And it's not just me, I have a team behind me. And so we manage social media now for 17 different districts. I can't do that. And these are the ladies that help me. We do business 4 ways. We have social media management, website management, training, and speaking. Social media management is kind of how it sounds. We actually manage all the channels for our school. So we'll do the Facebook posts, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. We obviously aren't located at the school, so we have a system that gets content from all of your staff. And then we manage and monitor the conversations that go on. We also do website management. So no, we don't host websites like CMS for schools or other, web providers where they give you a really nice template. We simply update it and keep it updated with current information. So some schools don't have the right people maybe to do that. And so we've actually added that as a service. We do training. So we'll do in-house workshops, regional workshops, webinar-based training. If you're just feeling like you need to, get a little bit more additional training, exactly how do I do this? You got a new person on board in regards to they're not used to Facebook, managing a page. We can actually just join, via webinar like this, and we can do webinar-based training. And then speaking. So I actually wrote a children's book on technology balance. I do a talk with 4th through 8th graders on creating a digital tattoo. And Craig, I am hoping that Craig can hear me. If not, he should be able to see the chat that says what number to reach us at. Craig, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, you can hear me. Good, awesome. Craig, where are you from?
Wild Rose.
Wild Rose. Love it. All right, just giving a brief introduction here. I do a talk with parents, Social Media 101, just trying to keep them up with their kids. And then I love to inspire staff on, hey, why do we need to tell our story? Very, very important. Sometimes it's they can struggle with that. So So let's get to the meat of it. 5 steps to really improve your social media. And Craig, I can see you. You can certainly shut off your video too if you'd like, but you can keep it on. I don't have to be the only one on here. And you can actually mute yourself if you want, but it's a small group today. I see one person just joined us, just viewer number 4 right now. Hopefully you can hear me just fine. Otherwise, the dial-in phone number is on the chat. So first tip that I have for you is to measure your social media. If you don't, if you want to improve, the only way to improve is to actually know where you're at to begin with, right? And so that's a big thing, obviously, because I work with school districts as a contracted, service. We have to be able to, hang on, I'm just going to, I'm gonna mute the lines here just one second. Just 1 minute here. I'm gonna just, there.
The conference is now in presentation mode.
All right, sorry about that. I have us all muted now. So I'll unmute us at the end, and certainly if you have a question as you go, I'm going to urge you just to use the chat feature. I'll keep an eye on the chat feature. So as I said, the first step is really measuring your social media. So looking at, hopefully you've been using social media this last school year, 2015, 2016, to really look at where you're at. And I did a thorough webinar on this about a month ago where I actually walked step by step in how to find all of this information. And I'm going to give you a link to that on my YouTube channel. But this is where we measure. We kind of measure each week. And I put it into an Excel spreadsheet. Like Facebook has amazing insights, but that can be really overwhelming. And sometimes you can lose the traceability of managing and looking at week by week. So every week we look at how many Facebook fans do we have, how many have we reached in the past 7 days, what is our engagement, how many likes, shares, comments, how many posts have we put out there. And I want to say this says 66. That's because we shared a whole bunch of pictures this specific week. I think we had a technology night. And so we didn't actually post 66 different times, but sometimes we may have posted 20 times. One of those might have had 20 pictures on it, and so that's going to count as 20. We look at Twitter followers, number of tweets, Instagram followers, number of posts, things like that. So, I always tell people if you are only in one place as a school district, you need to be on Facebook. That's your number one spot. But Twitter and Instagram are obviously nice. We have YouTube channels with the school districts we work with. And then, we put together pretty expansive quarterly report cards because, of course, schools should get report cards. And we're tracking things like, how many thousands of people are we reaching? How is our Facebook fan base growing? What are our top Facebook posts? So, you want to look at what's performing well and do more of that, right? And so we actually track, March 2nd, Wacky Wednesday for Dr. Seuss. So that was a photo, on a page with under 800 likes, we reached almost 4,600 people and had a bunch of comments and some shares. So we track all of that information. We really snapshot this in a one-page document because it's nice to be able to share something like this with your leadership team, with your school board, and with your staff. I think it's really powerful to provide that feedback mechanism. And maybe it's a little bit overwhelming during the school year, but if you can build this summer into, okay, how can we consistently be monitoring and measuring our social media efforts, now's the time to really do that. So I think that's important. Another awesome thing on social media is you can, like especially Facebook, you can measure how you're doing against surrounding schools. And not only can you measure on your Insight tab against other schools, but when you click on their name, you can actually see what have been their top posts in the last 7 days. So you can be like, okay, they're getting a lot of engagement. They've posted a lot of times. What are they doing so great? We can click on that and it'll actually show you. So it's very nice to get that access. Now you can also track against other schools, and with the people we work with the school districts we work with, we obviously track them very close. So everybody loves competition, right? So we track, by Instagram followers, who's doing the best, Twitter followers, and then there's this posts per day. This is a really important one, and a frequent question, I guess, that I get is, how many times a day should we be posting for our school? You can see here our range. I think our lowest right here is 1.5 up to highest of 4.7. Now this is 7 days a week, so we don't take Saturday and Sunday off when I measure this. So our districts that we work with on average are seeing about 3 posts per day. So that's about 21 posts per week on Facebook. And so I think that if you have great news to share, you have a vested audience. Your community cares about what's going on. And if you're only posting 3 or 4 times per week instead of per day, they are not seeing your posts. Because hopefully most of you know that just because you post something on Facebook doesn't mean that everybody that has liked your page will even see that in their news feed. So in order to kind of equate with Facebook's algorithm, you need to be consistently putting content out there. So I like to say your goal is about 3 times a day. If to start with that, it needs to be lower, that's fine. In measuring social media, it has to do with setting goals. So, I just said 3 times per day. I'd say at least 14 times per week. Maybe if you look at your reach, to reach people with your Facebook post, I think it should be at least 4 times your fans. So if at Palmyra Eagle, I'm not sure how many fans you have, if you had 1,000 fans on your Facebook page, your goal should be to reach at least 4,000 at each and every week with your posts. Maybe you want to add 100 fans, by the time you start the school year next year. Maybe you want to add Instagram. But I really would like to encourage you to visit my YouTube page. I've got a Social School for EDU YouTube page. If you just plug that in, no spaces, you're going to be able to see a recent webinar that we did on measuring social media, and that'll give you a lot of information. Tip number 2, I'm giving you 5 tips. This is tip number 2, get organized. We do social media for 17 different school districts, so obviously we had to figure out a method to keep organized, to standardize how we're organizing all this information for each school. You only have to manage your one school, but you may have multiple people that have their hands in posting or, managing the pages. We run all of our pages based off Google Drive, and so every school has their own folder, and within that we break it down into documents, graphics. This one has a Motivation Monday folder. We've got a Throwback Thursday folder and a used folder. And I just want to break this down just a little bit. Within your documents folder, it's very important that you get organized with a password sheet. Make sure you know all your passwords and all your, URL addresses for all the, social media channels you do have. What are your official colors? You should know like your Pantone or, those PMS color codes, so that when you do create new graphics or you do anything with your website or whatever, that you know those colors. And so that's really important to have those documented. If you have any rules about your social media posts, So for instance, some schools don't allow any last names. You should have that documented, and I would say within this documents folder, because personnel does change, and you may have somebody new taking over. They may not realize that, hey, we're not supposed to use last names, and then all of a sudden you have an issue. If you have any QR codes that you create for your social media channels, and then any content for future posts. So one of the neat things that we've started sharing is like teacher facts, like a teacher feature every week. We use SurveyMonkey to gather that information. Some of you may use, Google Forms to collect some of that information. But you have a bunch of data that you need to keep in one place so that when you're scheduling out future posts, you can refer back to that. Put that in this documents folder so you know where to find it. Graphics. If you have any kind of like your official logo, get that in the graphics folder. Any reusable graphics, make sure they're all in one location. So, again, if somebody's filling in or if you have multiple people, you can find those graphics. And I'm going to talk, my next tip is actually on creating graphics. And so I'll talk a little bit more about that. Another folder is your Throwback Thursday folder. I hope you are sharing old pictures of your yearbooks every Thursday. This has been one of the key cornerstones of us adding fans, adding alumni, adding community to our Facebook page. People look forward to seeing, hey, what's going to be featured on this week's Throwback Thursday picture. So all we do is I take my smartphone with me to the schools. I go through the yearbooks and I just snap pictures of pictures. So there's no scanning, there's no, messy stuff with that. It's just taking a picture of a yearbook, and then we crop it and save it in the TBT folder. We usually rename it, as you can see, like the year, and we're talking go way back. People love to see the old cars that were back in the 1930s. And grandparents that they may see. So save those and get organized, and that will help you a ton. Because you can plan and schedule posts out, like in Facebook, up to 6 months in advance. So, getting organized now will help you later. But then even as you, this summer, want to maybe spend a little time and plan out some of those posts, you don't have to be so overwhelmed next year. Used folder. So usually when people email us, that's how we get our information, is people will email us the pictures. We then save those onto this folder, but then once they're used, drag those pictures into the used folder so you know that, hey, they've been used already. You might use them later, so if you want, you could actually arrange them by month in a used folder. So you can see over here that we've got them kind of arranged by month. Now, one thing you might say is, wait, we already posted on Facebook, like the picture is on Facebook, we could go through there. Well, once you upload it to Facebook, that is saved in a lower quality picture than what you originally had. So yes, you could find it there and might want to reuse it for, let's just say, later on your website or some marketing materials. Hey, I remember we had that great picture. If you don't save that somewhere, it's not going to be as high a resolution as it once was. And so that's why I would say you want to make sure to save those pictures. Third tip is to create graphics. And I want to be honest, I am not like a graphic designer. Not at all. One of my moms, Allison, is, and she's awesome, phenomenal, but I'm not. But you don't have to be, because there's so many free tools out there. So creating graphics, is key with social media. You need to have something visually catch their eye. If you're doing a Facebook post and you're just providing text, it's not going to catch their eye when, I don't know if you've ever seen somebody scroll through their Facebook feed, like it's quick. And so you need something to pop out. And so next week, my blog, and hopefully you checked out my blog, but next week my blog's going to be on 7 apps for creating graphics. Today, I'm just going to kind of share right now canva.com. So it's like Canvas, but it's canva.com, free, and it's very easy to use. So here's a post right here for Bloomer that I just quickly created last night on Canva. I was sent a bunch of pictures from Principal Hartman, who slept on the top of the school because the kids raised over $10,000 at their mathathon. I created this with Canva. Very easy to do, did not take me long, and because this image kind of told the whole story, this post has already reached over 11,000 people. We posted it at 7 o'clock last night on Bloomer's Facebook page, and it's already reached over, well, I think it's reached over 12,000 now, and they have less than 1,000 fans on their Facebook page. So it's huge, and it's because we took the time, we put those images together, and so this obviously was a specific event that you can use graphics for. But when I'm talking about this summer, when you're creating graphics, I'm talking about things that go on throughout your school year that could be really useful. So holidays, motivational, spirit week, sports. And so I'm going to show you a bunch of them. So swimming lessons, I created that on Canva. Canva has some items that are free. I think this little swimming guy was $1. So you don't have to spend any money, you can. Activity calendar. Every Sunday night, we post out an activity link to the calendar on Facebook. Is your calendar on your website? Yes. Are people visiting your website every day? No. Are people on Facebook every day? Yes. So that's why we put it on Facebook every Sunday night. We could put it on every day, but that would be overkill. We do Sunday night at 6 o'clock. So if you create a graphic that people are used to seeing, that will create some consistency for them. And then it's like, hey, I need to know what's going on. Yeah, maybe I can go to the website, but I can also, look Sunday night. They have that posted. You may run a feature of guess the teacher. You can create a graphic like that. If you every month have an early dismissal for some of your professional development days, you can create a free one like that. Don't forget early dismissal. Then you schedule them out for every day that you're going to have early dismissal. No school, reminder, no school. Some people have late start, and people always forget that. A lot of times we share that the day before, like, hey, don't forget tomorrow's late start. Really important, really easy to create. Once you create it once. You save it in that graphics folder that I just showed you, and you can reuse it again and again. And don't worry about, hey, I'm using the same graphic I used last time. Some of that visual of, oh my gosh, it starts to catch their eye, and then they'll realize what it's for. Band concert, FFA week, and then even special things like Earth Day, Mother's Day, spring break, some of those things that you could create now that you could end up reusing. And I think it's really key that you don't make them too specific. So sometimes you could say, hey, band concert is tonight. Well, just create a graphic that says band, and then the text within the post could give the details of when, what, where, why, all of that. But the graphic itself is generic enough so that you can end up reusing it. Just trying to save you guys time. And one of the big things that we have had a lot of success with our districts is creating inspirational posts, inspirational quotes with your own students. So we love hashtag Motivation Monday, right? That's kind of a thing that trends. People just like to start their week off with some motivating, quotes. Well, you don't just have to grab them off Pinterest that have other kids or other things. When you can use this, like Colfax, they had this cute picture, went on Canva and found this quote. Now, I do use Pinterest or your Google to find quotes that I want to go with it, but the only way to have a friend is to be one. That's going to end up getting shared on your social media channels. And that's awesome because that's more publicity, more awareness of your school. And I also created the one on the right in regards to how we're teaching our kids now for New Auburn, again through Canva. So very easy to use. If you have some awesome pictures from this school year, I would really encourage you, spend a little time and get creative and grab a couple quotes to put on those pictures. Then you can use those next year. You could use them as Facebook cover photos. You could use them for Motivation Monday posts. They have a lot of use, but they'll get a lot of mileage out of them because people will want to share them. So that's key. Tip number 4 is all about promotion. So a lot of times we think about promoting Facebook or Twitter channels or Instagram just on social media channels. Well, there's more places to put out. So I did do a blog post quite a while ago on 16 ways to promote your social media channels. I just want to share a few of them. And, you can do promotion over the summer, but what I really want you to do is evaluate how are we promoting the use of our pages. First of all, your website is your number one spot. I think it needs to be above the fold, which means I should not have to scroll to the bottom of your website to be able to see your Facebook link. Just like Chipwas is, it's right in the header, and that's where I think it should be. So if you're big on using Facebook and big on using maybe Instagram, make sure those two are up on the top. Staff signatures, I think that's really key. Every email that your staff puts out should have a, hey, make sure to follow us on Facebook, or follow us on Twitter. You're missing out on every single communication that you could have, and your IT staff should be able to standardize a signature line for all of your staff members. Summer's a great time to do that. Hallway posters, okay? Putting up posters and making sure people are, not only following the pages, but using your hashtag, and hopefully you have your customized hashtag. Athletic and concert programs. This is key. A lot of times you're drawing in a bigger community than even just your parents. You're drawing in family members, extended family members, friends, community members. You want them to know that, hey, we are really active on social media. I love even, beyond just putting it in the program, when you do the welcome, hey, thanks for coming to tonight's spring concert, or better yet, thanks for coming to today's graduation, class of 2016. Okay, I know I'm not in the summer, but you could do this next week or whenever your graduation is. Make sure to follow us on Facebook because we are going to be sharing pictures from today's event, and you can follow us at Facebook, and in your bulletin you'll see our address or maybe even your QR code. So that's key. Saying it, you're inviting them in. That's key. Ask local businesses to help support and share your pages. Make sure that they are saying, hey, check this out. You can do contests, and you can do fun contests that don't cost any money. Your kids are your best marketing tool in regards to getting your social media channels out there. You challenge, your elementary kids to, hey, if we get to so many Facebook fans, if we get to 1,000 Facebook fans by, let's just say it's the fall, let's just say September 30th. By the end of September, if we get to 1,000 Facebook fans, we get to have a pajama day. They love pajama days. I don't know. My kids love pajama days. I heard that some of you teachers don't like pajama days, but kids like it, and it's free. And they could go home and tell their mom, dad, brother, sister, aunts and uncles, everybody to like their page. Certainly radio and television, if you have local supporters of the school district, you could just ask them, hey, will you help share our pages out there? Customized hashtag on everything, just like hashtag Go Crickets. They welcomed in their new staff with gear. And obviously you can use bracelets, t-shirts. I've got a hashtag Reedsburg Pride t-shirt. I even have a window cling right in my office from Reedsburg, which I thought that was a cool idea. But just promoting. So think of how you can promote, even on your traditional clothing orders that your athletic teams do. Maybe even on the arm sleeve, something that uses your hashtag. Because soon as you use a hashtag, that invokes that, hey, we support social media. Yard signs have been a huge one for a lot of school districts. I was just at Wisconsin Dells, and they did a yard campaign in the fall, and then it's like people are like mad that they don't have a yard sign. Like, where's my yard sign? So that could be something that really allows people to show pride. But then by using that hashtag, by maybe saying, hey, make sure to follow us on Facebook, that could be a huge win. And I would venture to say, there's some cost to that, but you may have businesses that may help sponsor it, or people could purchase them. Hey, for $5-6, I'm sure it would cover the cost if you got a bunch of them printed. Obviously, if you're still doing a traditional newsletter, at your open house in the fall. Okay, this is an easy one to do. You probably have like a National Honor Society group of kids, or any other kind of organization, your FHA, your shop kids, whoever. If you could get some high schoolers that could man a booth as parents are coming in for open house and say, hey, are you following us on Facebook yet? Yeah, no, I don't know what they're going to answer. Hey, if you're not, hey, can I help you find it on your Facebook page? And actually have those high schoolers make sure they find the right page, okay? Sometimes you just need to give that extra help. And this has happened, and this is happening with some of our districts. Sometimes there's auto-generated pages, and so you're like, which one is the real, New Auburn page? Because there's this one that's out there, but then there's the real one. If you had somebody helping them, guide them, and saying, okay, you want this one. Okay, we're going to hit like there. Now you're going to be tuned in. You can even hit notifications. And so grab a team of volunteers from your high school. They can help do that. And I think that'd be a real key. Tip number 5 is just up your skills this summer. Okay, social media is always changing. Always. Like, I do this for a job, and sometimes it's like I can't hardly keep up. Follow what other schools are doing. Read the book Embracing Social Media by Kristen Magid. It's a great book that's written exclusively for schools, and that's a great guide for you to really take your social media to the next level. If you're on Twitter, which hopefully you are, hashtag K12PRChat. It's every other Tuesday at 8 o'clock Eastern. That's a great spot to get ideas of how, PR groups for schools, and they do talk about social media and other realms. You can follow the hashtag SchoolPR and follow my Facebook page. Like, I'm always sharing great things that schools are doing on their Facebook page. So Social School for EDU, you can check that out, and you'll get some great ideas. I'm sharing blog articles all the time. I think it's just really important to up your game. And, that's just leading into my special invite. One other way of upping your skills could be to attend a workshop. And I have a hands-on workshop. I'm just going to quickly go through these slides, and then I'm going to open it up and unmute everybody so we can ask any and all questions. But yeah, what would it feel like to have a real plan? We're going to meet 3 different locations in this summer to take your social media to the next level. It's an open 2-room format. So in one room, you can work. In the other room, every 45 minutes, I'll be doing a new training topic. And we're going to cover a lot of different ones. If it's something you're like, I got that, or I don't even want to think about that, you don't have to go. You can keep working. Obviously, we've done training for over 100 school districts, and so we've got a lot of experience, and we just want to help get your story out there. It's not only me, it's some of my staff members will be there. We'll have you bring your logo, your passwords, at least 10 yearbooks, your activities calendar, because our goal is that during this one day, you're going to get a bunch of stuff done for next school year so that you're not so overwhelmed. You're going to be surrounded by other dedicated social media managers. I mean, we've already got over 20 people registered for the Rice Lake event. I can only take about 5 more at that location. And then you're going to have us on hand to ask any questions. Topics include like creating that system, graphic design, Facebook tips and tricks, Throwback Thursdays, Instagram, putting together your report card, referendum campaigns, and more based on what your needs are. It's really for anybody who's doing social media. So teachers, superintendents, principals, secretaries, coaches, PTO groups who might be helping you. It's really meant for all of those people. You'll have online access to all our training slides. We're going to have checklists and guides and templates. We're going to have an exclusive Facebook group that'll help support you as you go back to your school district. And then if you sign up by tomorrow, we've got a free video. It's actually to kick off your school year. It's me, and it's professionally done with sharing how other schools are using social media and why it's important. And I think it'll really help you get your school year set off in the right direction in regards to getting good content from all of your teachers. We have 3 dates. July 14th is in Rice Lake, July 28th is in Edina, and August 5th is in Wisconsin Dells. The cost, of course, this can't be free. I wish it could. It's only $197 for your first attendee. It's $97 for each additional person. Some schools are sending like a team of 5. Some people are sending a team of 2, and some schools are just sending 1 person. So it's totally up to you. You can register right now at bit.ly/ss4edu workshop. So that'll take you right to the registration page. I do not ask for payment right away because I know most of you like to be invoiced and and pay with a check. And so that's how this is set up. So you can get all the information as far as how to register there. And like I said, if you register by tomorrow, you get that free video. So now that's it. That's all I had to share with you. I am going to unmute. Let's see. Yeah, others can use video.
The conference is now in conversation mode.
Okay, so I am going to just get out of my PowerPoint here and we'll get back to just me. So any and all questions that you might have. Let's see. Okay. So here I am. Any questions that you guys have that I could help answer? Any struggles that you're seeing, negativity, or things aren't linking up right? Any and all questions are game.
This is Kim.
Yes.
Hey, going back to one of your slides, the K-12 PR chat thing, it's on Thursdays at what time?
Oh, it's Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, so 7 o'clock Central.
PM though.
PM, yep, at night, because most of the people have to work during the day. And so, those PR guys are busy all day. So that's, yeah.
Thank you.
You bet. So I see a delay on mine. Can you see my picture right now, Kim?
Still.
Oh, okay. I must be not having the best, but I can hear you at least, so that's good. Any other questions you guys have? You can type them in too if you want. If you guys don't have anything else, I'll follow up with an email. The email will have a link to all these slides in PDF format, basically. And also, I can send out a link to this video so that if you missed anything, you can come back to it. Or if you wanted to share it with anybody else from your team, you can do that as well. But one last chance for any questions. Awesome. Well, I appreciate all of your time. I hope you have an awesome rest of your school year, and good luck this summer. If you ever have any questions, certainly reach out. The chances are if you have it, then other schools do too. And I like to be able to be a resource to help answer those. So thanks so much for joining me. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye now.
Bye-bye.